Hi, pre-K kids and parents. It is time for another Shubert story. So parents, stick around, this is for you too. This is going to help you to help your child keep calm and solve their problems. These are the same things that we do in pre-K, so they should be pretty familiar with them by now. So before we get any further, let's go over the books we've already learned, or already read, and what we've already learned from them. In Schubert's Big Voice, we learned how to talk to other children and how to listen to them when they talk to us. Parents, we learned how to model what to say to children so that they know what words to use because they don't know unless they've been told. In Schubert is a Star, we learned that it's okay to be mad, but it's not okay to act in ways that hurt others. Instead, we need to calm our bodies and be helpful. And parents, we learned how to help breathe with our child to calm them down because coming angry into an angry situation is not going to help anybody calm. In Schubert's Choice, we learned that sometimes tasks are just too big, and sometimes kids aren't ready to handle the whole thing all at one time. But instead, they are able to make lots of small decisions as long as you stay calm and you understand that they're little and they're learning. Last week in Schubert Sees the Best, we learned that sometimes friends act in ways that are hurtful and they don't know it. And it's our job to help them because what they need is just a little bit of help. And sometimes we act in ways that are hurtful too. It's not just one way. Sometimes we act hurtful. And instead, what we have to do is look for ways to be helpful because nobody wants to hurt people on purpose. That's no good. So here's our story today. It's called Schubert's Helpful Day. And it is about this little ladybug named Lucinda. And she comes into school very angry and kind of upset. And so what Mrs. Bookbinder, Schubert, and the class help to do is help to calm her down and help her solve her problem. And it also calls to adults, so parents, this is you, to see friends who are misbehaving or acting up as calls for help. They're not acting up to be bad children. You don't have bad children. You guys are all wonderful children. But sometimes our behavior kind of gets away from us because our feelings get away from us. And so this is a way to help your child to be aware of what they're doing, why they cannot do it, and instead what would be some good choices for them. So kind of just a way to help them through it. So we always start with the front cover, spine, back cover. Up here, you'll find the title, Schubert's Helpful Day. Down here, you'll find the author who writes the words and the illustrator who draws the pictures. So the author is Dr. Becky Bailey and the illustrator is James Rack. I'm going to open up the front cover, past the title page because it's got the title again, to the beginning of the story, which starts actually down here. I'm going to get a little closer and turn you guys a little bit so you can see the story and then start reading. It says, "Hooray! Hooray! I'm on my way! Hooray! Hooray! I'll be helpful today!" Schubert sings as he holds the door open for his sister Sophie. Off to school they go. Ooh, look at Schubert! Schubert, you held the door so Sophie could get through. That was so helpful. At school, Lucinda the ladybug slams her backpack on the floor and kicks her foot at Etta. Etta the earthworm ducks just in time. She looks surprised and a little bit hurt. So is her body hurt? No, she didn't get kicked, but sometimes her feelings can get hurt. Mrs. Bookbinder says in a soothing voice, "That was scary, Etta. What could you do to help Lucinda learn another way to treat you?" Oh, so Miss Bookbinder is going to the victim first, the one whose feelings were hurt. She's going to help her she's going to help her solve her problem. Etta answers, "I can use my big voice." Etta looks at Lucinda and says, "I don't like it when you kick at me. It's scary." That was very helpful, Etta, responds Mrs. Bookbinder, and then she turns her attention to the class and says, Lucinda seems to feel very upset this morning. How can we help her? Oh, so Miss Bookbinder helped Etta to use her big voice to talk to her friend about a helpful way or a kind way to treat her. That was good. Etta used her big voice, didn't she? Benny the Beetle holds up a wand with a star and says, what do you think he's going to say? Let's be stars. He gets everyone in the class to stop, take a deep breath, and relax. Good job. Good breathing, guys. Benny, you led the class in star breathing. The calmness in the classroom helped Lucinda to feel calm too. That was helpful, Benny, Mrs. Bookbinder says. Look, Lucinda doesn't look angry anymore. I wonder, she might look a little sad. I hope she's okay. Crenshaw the cricket begins to sing a song the class had written. All day long we wish you well, wish you well, wish you well. All day long we wish you well in pre-K. And all the friends wish Lucinda well. Mrs. Bookbinder tells Crenshaw, that was so helpful. You sang a song to make your friend feel better. Angela, one of the three aunt triplets, picks up the We Care class bag. Oh, so it's kind of like the things that we have in the basket over in our safe place. Will any of these help you? Lucinda looks in the bag. She sees a teddy bear, a bottle of lotion, a Band-Aid, and a softball for squeezing. Lucinda chooses the bear and gives it a big hug. Lucinda's body relaxes, and she lets out a big sigh. Mrs. Bookbinder can see that it is now time to talk to Lucinda and teach her other ways to handle her angry feelings and to solve her problems. So Mrs. Bookbinder is going to see the best in Lucinda. She wasn't trying to hurt, but she was very upset about something. Let's go see if we can talk to her and help her. Mrs. Bookbinder begins. Lucinda, you came into the classroom and threw down your backpack like this. You kicked your foot at Etta just like this. And then you scrunched your face all tight like this. You seemed angry. Something scary must have happened. Parents and kids, did you notice that Mrs. Bookbinder waited until Lucinda was calm to talk to her? I noticed that too. Someone on the school bus tore my picture. It's a picture of me and my mommy, Lucinda says softly. Oh, so she didn't have a very good morning, did she? Something happened. In a soft, questioning voice, Mrs. Bookbinder asks, someone on the bus tore your picture, and you didn't know the words to let them know that you felt angry? Lucinda moves her feet slowly and mumbles, no. You wanted us to know how angry you felt, so you threw your backpack and kicked at Etta, reminds Mrs. Bookbinder. So she is going back over what happened so that Lucinda is thinking about it now that she's calm. Mrs. Bookbinder continues teaching Lucinda by saying firmly, you may not kick your friends. Kicking is hurtful. When you feel angry, you could say, I feel angry. Someone tore my picture. Say it now for practice. Oh, so they're going to practice saying it together so she can remember for next time. With a tear in her eye, Lucinda says, I feel angry. My picture is broken. Look at these friends coming to help. Here you go, say the aunt sisters Angie, Angela, and Angelina. We have tape. We can fix it. Ooh, So now that she has said her problem, now her friends can come help her. They all work together to patch up Lucinda's picture. Mrs. Bookbinder notices the kindness of the triplets and describes it by saying, "You got tape and worked together to fix Lucinda's picture. Now she can share it with her friends. That was helpful." Benny says, "Yeah, because we are here to help each other. It's our job to keep the classroom safe. To do our job, we must be helpful." He looks at Shubert and says, "Right, Shubert?" What do you think Schubert's going to say? With that, Shubert begins to sing his song again. Shubert sure likes to sing. "Hooray! Hooray! I'm on my way! Hooray! Hooray! I'll be helpful today!" And the whole class joins Shubert as they sing together. "Hooray! Hooray! We're on our way! Hooray! Hooray! We'll be helpful today!" And so I've got a couple of tips from Mrs. Bookbinder to help parents at home. When Lucinda came in angry and kicked out at Etta, she went to Etta first. She went to the victim and helped her use her big voice to talk to her friend. Then she looks at Lucinda's behavior as a call for help. She didn't come in trying to be angry and hurtful on purpose. Instead, she was hurt. And the only way she knew to ask for help was to act in an angry and hurtful way. So Mrs. Bookbinder saw that, noticed it, and thought to herself, this child needs some help. She needs help to calm down and help to figure out how to solve her problem. So she did all of those things. She also noticed all of the helpful acts of the students. So this is something that we learn as teachers. It's called you see more of what you notice. So if I'm looking around at all of my friends and I notice or I say, "Oh, you're holding the door for your friend." And all of a sudden, lots of kids are holding the door. If I say, "You cleaned up the floor so your friends wouldn't fall," the floor stays clean that day. Kids want you to see the wonderful, helpful things that they're doing. And if you notice and you say it and you acknowledge it, they'll be more than happy to continue those behaviors. Mrs. Bookbinder also teaches Lucinda about her actions by calling attention to them, explaining why they are not safe, and then explaining what to do instead. So this is something I use a lot in pre-K. I say, "You wanted, so you may not, because is help or hurtful." So it kind of sounds more like this. It sounds like, "You may not kick. Kicking hurts." When you want someone to move, you say, "Excuse me, please, so I can get by." And I say that a lot. You wanted your friend to move, so you kicked. Kicking hurts. Instead, say, "Please move so I can get by." Try that with me now. Match your voice to mine. "Please move so I can get by." Your turn. There you go. And I want to see you guys today and all through the next week find ways to be helpful. Notice what your kids are doing that's helpful and be very specific. You picked up your toys so that the room would be clean. That was helpful. And kiddos, see what helpful tasks you can do for mom and dad, brother, sister, everyone to keep your family safe and happy. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.